Om. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavidamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashunmannotipisita Sadhanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. The solution and peace everywhere, in any situation, anywhere, lies in discovering the cause. Lies in discovering the cause. Because we do not know the cause, that is why all our sorrows, all our grievances, all our disturbances, they appear. So here also, the cause of everything is being given. The cause of our bodies is being given. The cause of this samsara is being given. When once we know about the cause, then the effect dissolves. What is a cause in which the effect dissolves? That is called a cause. What is a cause in which the effect dissolves itself? The effect is not there. The effect will get dissolved automatically. So gross body and subtle body, both are our problems. If you look at it like that, gross body and subtle body are only our problem. So the reason behind the gross body and the causal body, the gross body is creating the world outside, whatever we are perceiving. We'll come to that today. So whatever we are perceiving through our sense organs, that is created by our gross body. And whatever is created inside that gross body, we call it subtle body. That's what was called in chapter 13 as Vikaraha and Gunaha. Vikara is outside and Gunaha are inside. The same thing. So the subtle body actually and the gross body, they are creating all the problem. They are creating the world outside. When the reason behind it is given, when the cause is given, when our attention goes to that cause, the effect automatically starts dissolving. Then that's no more a problem for us. So our attention should go there. This, the cause, the purpose of this Tattva Bodh, the purpose of telling us the three bodies, the purpose of telling the material cause and the efficient cause is here, so that we come to the cause behind all these things. It is not to tell us about it, but actually to disidentify with these two things, because our identification is so deep just now at present. Our identification should decide, we should discriminate between these two, and we should try to disidentify with these bodies. Unless we do that, our problems won't dissolve. So that is why we were looking into these things. What is the gross body? What is the subtle body? Now we were on causal body. What is that? So causal body, in Vivek Chudamani, a lot of description is given for causal body. When we sometimes take up that text, then we can see it more. But here only one paragraph has been given with Karana Shariram Kim. And shall we read it once? Karan Shariram. When we understand this properly, then subtle body and gross body, they both won't exist anymore to create all the problems. So today everything appears so real to us only because we haven't understood this mind, body, etc. We haven't understood all these things. We haven't understood gross body. That is why the problem arises. So we have to do discrimination between Atma and Anatma. We have to discriminate between Satya and Mithya. Only after that we can come to the conclusion. So Karana Shariram Kim. Here, what is Karan Shariram? What is causal body? It is not casual body. I'm again and again telling you, because of spelling is so much similar, we tend to read as casual body. It is not casual, it is causal, cause of the two other bodies. So what is it? Anirvachya, Anadi, Avidya, Rupam. I have broken this first word into three words. Anirvachya, Anadi, Avidya, Rupam. Then Sharira Dvayasya Karana Matram. It is the cause of both the Sharir. Both means what? For the Sukshma Sharir and the gross body. Sukshma Sharir and Sthul Sharir. Sat Swarupa Agyanam. Their ignorance is residing. Sat Swarupa, it does not know the Sat Swarupa. Nirvikalpaka Rupam, we will see what is this today. Nirvikalpaka Rupam, Yad Asti Tat Karana Shariram. Whatever is with 1, 2, 3, 4, all these four things, that is called Karana Shariram. Okay, so now we come to the first one, that is called Anirvachyam. Anirvachyam, we last time had already seen this. What is Anirvachyam? It is not that we cannot describe it. It is not that it is undescribable, but it is something cannot be said in particular about a thing. It is not described in particular, like it is like this only. And for that, we had last time seen Syatmavad of Jain Darshan also says the same thing, that some things we in this world we cannot tell anything about any object, person in particular. So a color was given, the example of a color, like we say yellow. There are so many shades and nuances of yellow. We cannot tell in particular which one we are talking about. Similarly, anything here is anirvachyam. What has come first, what has come later? The body is the fruit of action. The body is the fruit of action. But without the body, you cannot make a fruit. So which one has come first? Like we always say, the seed or the tree, the egg or the chicken. Similarly, here also, anything in this world cannot be said in particular. It is not that we cannot talk about it. Anirvachyam does not mean that. So last time we saw that why we cannot talk about it, because it is the cause. Because it is the cause. Here, Anirvachyam is being talked about that causal body. So the causal body is the cause of the two other bodies. Now, if we are going to talk about the cause, how can the effect talk about the cause? And there the example given was, can anybody help me? which example I had given last time?
Light and darkness.
Light and darkness. No.
No.
Surya cannot work on itself.
Surya. No. Another example?
Battery.
Yes.
Battery.
Yes, torch and battery.
Torch and battery.
Cause and effect. The effect cannot illuminate the cause. The effect cannot illuminate the cause. The torch cannot illuminate its own battery because it is the cause of the light behind the torch. So if the battery is taken out, the torch will stop working. In this way, we prove that the cause cannot be illuminated by the effect. So the subtle body, which has got my mind, through which we think, the buddhi that concludes, comes to any conclusion, the chitta, meaning the memory, all the cause of all the three, the whole Sukshma Shari, whatever we are perceiving also, all the seven components is this causal body. So how can the effect illuminate the cause? How can the subtle body through which we are thinking, how can that illuminate the cause behind it? And another example was given of Swatmani Kriya Abhavat. Swatmani Kriya Abhavat, who will explain? Swatmani Kriya Abhavat, who will explain? Mitali, Shubhashish, Supratim, Swatmani Kriya Abhavat. Very simple rule has been explained. And from the words you can get it. Swatmani means on itself. Kriya, action. Abhavat is not possible. How will you explain it? Kinky,
The cause cannot eliminate his effect.
cause cannot illuminate. No, Kriya. What does Kriya mean?
Action.
Action. Kriya means action. So, on the cause, action cannot be done. Not illumination. For on the cause, action cannot be done. Give me an example. Anybody?
वही इसी इसी उंगली से मतलब सपोज खुजली हो रही है तो इसी उंगली से तो उसको नहीं कर सकते, या कुछ भी एक्शन एक ही चीज पर हम लोग नहीं कर सकते हैं, यहाँ पे हो रहा है तो इससे इसको नहीं कर सकते हैं, लाइक दैट.
Yes. This point cannot be touched by this point. Feet cannot walk on feet. This hand cannot work on this hand. It's funny, isn't it? So you try to remember these small examples, then you can remember these rules. These rules are not difficult. So when we say Swatmani Kriya Abhavat, action cannot be done on oneself. It's not illumination. Illumination part was the battery and the torch thing. Okay, so here action cannot be done on itself. And here only I had given the example of Shivji having the ornament of snake. Why does that snake not bite Shivji? Because Shivji is the cause of that snake. Everything, the power behind the snake is Shivji only. And that is why it cannot bite. It will be always submissive there. Because the battery there is Shivji only. Isn't it? So Atmani Kriya Abhavat. So wherever there is action, we need something else to be acted upon. The same thing cannot act on itself. That is why here, what is it? The causal body is the cause behind both of them. Causal body is the cause behind what? Behind the subtle body and the gross body. It is the cause. Because the subtle body cannot act on itself. Okay, here the cause is different and the effects are different. So we have to separate both of them and see. Unless we see both of them separate, we cannot come to the conclusion, proper conclusion. At present, I have mixed all of them. So Anirvachya.
Amma,
Anirvachya. Welcome.
thank you. I've come up with questions.
Is it related to this or you can wait?
It is related to this.
Okay.
The question was Amma, which this an entire thing of action, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So action cannot be separated from the karta, right? Is
No,
it? Am
no,
I
no,
correct?
no, no. Action cannot be done on itself. Simple.
Okay.
The leg cannot walk on the leg. This point cannot touch this point. My eyes cannot see itself. I'm seeing the reflection
Mhm.
like that. So
So Amma,
action.
sorry, please continue.
No, I'm done.
Okay. So Amma, for example, if there is daytime, if there is sun's rays, we cannot separate the sun's rays from the sun. We cannot separate the ability of the fire to burn from fire, right?
That is a different point. Here we are not going to that point. That point is there, but it is a separate point. That is
Okay.
called Swarup. Like we cannot differentiate between the sugar and the sweetness. That is called Swarup.
Okay.
That's totally different. We'll come to that point later on. But here, just remember that action cannot be done on itself. That is Svatmani Kriya Abhavat. On itself,
Okay.
action cannot be done. We have to have something other than itself to act upon. Okay, so
Okay.
that is why wherever there is some action going on, there has to be a separate doer who is doing the action on something else. The action cannot be done on itself. Okay.
So ma'am, Amma, so we can deduce like that there is daytime because of the sun.
Daytime and sun, where is an action going on here?
The action of the day is because of the sun.
No, it's not action of the. It is like the sun is there in the presence of the sun. The whole thing is illuminating. There is no action in the sun. There is no doership in the sun. Wherever there is action, a kriya has got a definition. There has to be doership and there has to be some rules. Only then we can call anything an action. Otherwise, it's not under the category of any action. So when the fire is burning anything, or the Surya or the sun is illuminating anything, there is no worship in that. There is no rules and regulations in that if it does not do, then there will be pap on its part, on its portion. It's not like that. There is no dharma, adharma related to that. So only in its present, then you can also say that the sun is the cause of the bloom of all the flowers, whatever flowers are blooming. It is not like that. Only the presence of the sun. In the presence of the sun, the flowers are getting bloomed. The seasons are changing. The days are converting to night, nights are converting to days. So only as like a Rajavat. Bhashyakar has given the example of Raja, king. Like a king is there, he's not doing anything, he's not into actions, too many of actions. But only his presence matters. Because of his presence, everything is going on. So don't mix two things. There's no doership in the sun, and I am the doer. Only in its presence, there's no doership in the fire that I am burning. Only in the presence of the fire, everything will get burned. It does not have
Hmm.
kartrutva in it. So these two are different things. Okay. So here what we are
Okay.
saying is that Swatmani, on that thing, Swatmani, on something, action cannot be performed unless there is something other to be acted upon. So causal body is acting on the subtle body and the gross body. Causal body cannot act on itself. Atma cannot act on itself. If there is something, if work is going on, if we are seeing, there has to be something other than Atma where the action is going on. Like that. Okay. So on anything, action cannot be possible on itself. There has to be something other. So causal body can't come in front of subtle body and the gross body because of this reason. It cannot be illuminated by the subtle body. I am talking to you through my thoughts and through my words. Thoughts meaning subtle body. Words
Subtle
meaning
gross
gross
body.
body. So when I'm talking to you, when we are interpreting each other's thoughts, at that time what is happening? The Sukshma Sharir and the Sthul Sharir are interacting. They both are interacting. So when they both are interacting, they cannot illuminate the cause behind the gross body and the subtle body. That's the point here. So there has to be something other than causal body where the causal bodies are from the level, from the perspective of the causal body, you have to see the Swatmani Kriya Bhavat. On the feet cannot work. So if the causal body is working, it has to work through subtle body and causal body, so gross body. And when you are talking about this through from the perspective of subtle body and the gross body, then come to the other example, that the battery and the torch one. That these two cannot illuminate. I cannot talk about the causal body through my Sukshma Sharir and through my gross body. I cannot talk about that. Is why here Anirvachya Shabd is given. And I cannot talk about it in particular that it is like that. So these are just indicators. And why also it has been given. This was your question when you met me. Remember that why
Yes.
is it said that these things cannot be explained? This is the reason.
Hmm.
Because the cause cannot be illuminated. How can the torch illuminate its own battery? It is not possible. This is the reason, and that is why this word, from the perspective, see, there are three things now: subtle body and gross body in one category, and the causal body in one category. So when you are seeing from the perspective, from the angle of subtle body and the gross body, you come to that torch and battery example, that these two cannot illuminate the causal body because it's the cause. But when you see from the perspective of causal body, the causal body, then you come to the other example. Swatmani Kriya Bhavat. The causal body cannot act on itself, but it is acting. How is it acting? It is acting through subtle body and the gross body. It has got impressions, but the impressions need to be expressed through what? Through thoughts and through the gross body, through the sockets that are in the sense organs and everything. The sockets, they express. The tongue is moving, my eyes are moving, my hands are moving, my feet is moving. All these are sockets and all these are outer gross body sense organs. But the power is in the subtle body. So there are two aspects. Don't mix these two aspects. From the subtle body and the causal body, when we look into the causal body, there the example of torch and battery, the cause cannot be illuminated by the effect. And from the perspective of the causal body, when you go to the Sukshma Sharir and gross body, there Swatmani Kriya Bhavat will apply.
Okay.
Okay.
Amma, then is there any way to feel the presence of the causal body?
Yeah, all these things are given. Wait, I'm coming. All the 4 points are given. So last time we saw Anirvachyam. Now Anirvachyam, this has got Anirvachyam means what? Anirvachyam The sansar is also anirvachyam, Maya is also anirvachyam, then Jeev is also anirvachyam, then Brahma is also anirvachyam. But the definition slightly differs. What is the difference? Here, when we talk about Atma or Brahma as anirvachyam, there we say that it is Vam Manas Agocharatvam. Anirvachyam. Why is it Anirvachyam? Why cannot it be spoken as like this in particular? Because it cannot be grasped by Vang. Vang means speech. It cannot be grasped by Manas. It cannot be grasped by the mind. Vang, Manas, Agocharato. It cannot be perceived through any sense organs. Vang represents all the organs of action. Mind represents all the sense organs in particular. Everything, the whole Sukshma Sharir. So in this way, you cannot perceive or you cannot talk about or you just can indicate that about that Brahma. So that's why here the definition of Atma being Anirvachyam is Vang Manasa Agocharatvam. Remember this definition. And when we come to causal body, then the definition changes. Then it is said Sat Asathyam Vilakshanam. Neither it is called Sat, neither it is called Asat. What is Sat now? Who will tell me what is Sat?
Existence, that
Yes,
which
that is
exists.
there, that which exists. Simple. And Asat means what?
Non-existence.
That does no example. Give me example. Like I'll tell you, the example given in Shastra for Asat is like horn of the head, then the flowers in the sky, then Banjika Putra, the son of a barren woman. They don't exist at all. He Pushpa, they said. He Pushpa, or the horn of the hare. Hare does not have a horn. Then, and then, what did I say? The son of the barren woman. Now, don't misinterpret that horn of the hare like HAIR hair. Okay, that was a misconception when I was in my course, and it got cleared after 1 year to some people, and then we had a hearty laughter up to that horn of hair. So it is HARE hair, not HAIR. I hope you're getting the difference. So it was very funny when Swamiji told us that some people have this confusion horn of hair. So what is not existing? We haven't seen, we haven't heard about it. That is called asat. We haven't heard or seen about the flowers in the sky. We haven't heard about this horn of the hair, or we haven't heard about the barren woman's son. She's a barren woman. She cannot produce, so there cannot be any son. These three examples are given for asat. So Sat means existing, that is there. What is there? This watch is there, books are there, my laptop is there, the paperweight is there, many things are there. Is wherever whatever is there I can perceive, that is called Sat. And whatever I haven't perceived or we haven't heard about it or seen, that is called Asat. These two things are there. So now what is happening when we are saying Sat Asatyam Vilakshanam? It is neither Sat nor Asat. It is totally different from both of them. This is a definition given for causal body. This is a definition given for Jeev. This is a definition given for Sansar. This is a common definition for all of these. Maya. Why? Why? Because it is neither, you cannot call it Sat, you cannot call it Asat. Now tell me, if it is Sat, if it is there, if something is there, it cannot go. So if it is there actually, if it is existing, then it will never go. We won't be able to prove, we won't be able to remove it. That means it will be permanent. So if we say that ignorance is permanent, ignorance is there in the causal body, isn't it? So ignorance is if we say that it is Sat, it won't go. Because it is Sat means ever existing, it is real, it is true. Whatever goes away, it cannot be categorized under Sat. वो कभी जाएगा ही नहीं. So unless it goes away, we cannot prove the existence of Sat. Unless ignorance goes away, we cannot say that Sat exists. So in that sense, it is said here that ignorance or the causal body, it cannot be Sat, but it cannot be Asat also. It is not that it does not exist at all, like the horn of the hare or like the Kepushpa. It is not like that, because I'm experiencing that. I'm experiencing my impressions. Impressions, tendencies are there. That means, that proves that my causal body is there. My ignorance is there. That means what? My causal body is there. So totally, I cannot disregard or neglect the fact that this body does not exist at all. It is there. So neither we can call it Sat, that existing, it is real, neither it is Asat, neither it is completely false, because I'm experiencing it. And that is why this Anirvachyam word has been given, that neither it is Sat nor Asat. Sat Asatyam Vilakshanam. So this is the dharma of what? Dharma of this causal body is what? Sat Asadhyam Vilakshanam. Like you cannot describe ignorance. Like you cannot describe darkness. It's something like that. It is there also, but it is not there. What is darkness? It is the absence of light. It does not have anything as a separate entity in itself. Darkness is not an entity, but it is existing. Something called darkness is a show me darkness. Where is the darkness? Put the light on, I want to see the darkness. As soon as you switch on the light, the darkness will vanish. It's not there at all. That means the existence is not there. I mean, darkness's existence is not there. But still, when the lights were off, we could experience it. In this way here, it is said, Anirvachyam. That is why it cannot be said as Sat, it cannot be said as Asat. Next word is Anadi Avidya Rupam. Anadi Avidya Rupam, why? Why Anadi? It is of the nature of beginningless avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Beginningless. Try to relate all these things with ourselves. Try to relate it with our experiences. Then you'll find it interesting. Don't get bored at all. I hope nobody is getting bored. I don't like all these intellectual gymnastics in the morning. When you try to subjectify it, you will develop interest. Don't get bored at all. Now, Anadi, Avidya. See, one more point is, if we are getting bored, that means the sanskar is not there. Anything we don't like to do because the sanskar is missing. Anything we like to do because we have done it already in the past and we have the sanskar, the impressions are already there. So if we are not liking this, after a certain time, after we continuously keep hearing, there we need pratiksha, there we need to have perseverance. We should not leave anything in between. When we continuously listen to it, then at certain time, we'll start liking it also. Okay. So Anadi Avidya. Anadi means beginningless. Why is it beginningless? Because we cannot say that this started at a certain point. What will be the hitch if we start it? If we start it, means that it is starting from a point where before that point it wasn't existing. So that means that it has to start from something other than itself. And something other than itself is what? Vidya. Like mother and child, they are different. So child has to come from mother. It cannot come from itself. Again, there's Swagmani Kriya Bhat, you can say. There has to be something other than itself. Now, if avidya has a beginning, it has to come from somewhere. And what is that somewhere? Apart from avidya, there is vidya. So that means we are trying to say that knowledge, that the ignorance has come from knowledge. This is not possible at all. How can ignorance come from knowledge? How can darkness come from light? This is not possible. And that is why they have said here that ignorance is beginningless. You cannot say that it has started. It came into existence in such period of time. 00.00.0000. It started. And now today's what date? 01/04/2022. Isn't it? So it started sometime, we cannot say. So what was the definition that was given for birth? Anybody remembers? The definition of birth, how do we define birth?
Praga.
Yes. Praga bhav.
का अंत.
Praga bhav ka ant. Praga bhav ka ant. The end of posterior non-existence. Not posterior, prior non-existence. Praga bhav. It wasn't there in the beginning. Then it started at certain point. When it started, that means 01/01/0001. It started in this point. Okay. So when it started, that means what? It wasn't there before that. Prior, it was non-existent. So the end of prior non-existence is called birth. Praga bhav ka ant. Prak abhav. Prak means initially. Abhav, it wasn't there. Praga bhav ka ant. That is called birth. This body wasn't there before the birth. I mean, before suppose 1940, it wasn't there. So before 1940, it was what? Praga bhav. But the day it got birth, I mean, the day it was born, what happened? Praga bhav stopped, ended. Prior non-existent and ended. So this is called birth. And what is death?
Pradvamsa.
Pradvamsa bhav ki shuruat. For eternity, now that thing has got into non-manifestation. Pradvamsa bhav ki shuruat. Beginning of Pradvamsa bhav. Beginning of posterior non-existence. Okay, these words are coined by Nyaya Shastra. So causal body here is giving birth to both of them. Both means what? Sharira dvayasya karana matram. Both of them means subtle body and the gross body. Here also we saw that something has to come from something else. Something comes from not itself but other than itself. So causal body is the Karan Matra. This is called Matraj Pratyay only. Matraj Pratyay here, Karan Matram. Only the cause. What is the cause of these two? There's only one cause, that is called causal body. Is your attention going to something? The causal body, actually, subconsciously, we are making our causal body. When we are making our thoughts, when we are interacting on daily basis in our waking state, at that time we are gaining impressions from outside. Actually, it is all going to that causal body. And as per that causal body, we are creating, we are designing, we are ordering our subtle body and our gross body.
That is why we say na that we are makers of our own destiny. Na? यही तो अर्थ है.
So beautiful. So we can make anything. So if at present we are subconsciously making, but we can consciously also make. And that's what Yoga Sutra teaches us, Ashtanga Yoga teaches us. That consciously we have to develop this causal body. Karana Sharira Dvasya Karana Matram. So both of them have the same cause called Karana Shariram. Then we had seen till here Sat Swarupa Ajnanam. We had seen till here last time. So Sat Swarupa Ajnanam. So now Sat Swarupa Ajnanam means what? I don't know about myself. That Sat Swarup, I don't know. I have a complete ignorance about myself. Now, how is it? I feel. What am I? I feel I am a doer. And that doer continuously is changing. One doer comes, goes. Again, another doer comes, goes. Again, third doer comes, goes. Continuously, these doers are changing. So I see those doers and I feel that I am that doer only. Like right now, I'm a speaker. You are a listener. Sometimes you become a speaker. I become a listener. What is happening? We are becoming listeners and speakers. But our attention does not go to that point that these are changing doers. But there is somebody who's witnessing all these and that is not changing. Our attention does not go to that one. Who's a witness of all those changing doers, who's not changing at all. Between these two doers, when one speaker came and one listener came, there was something that was connecting both of them. That is called Sat Swarup. Who's connecting? Our attention does not go there because we are very much engrossed in that doership. But there has to be a connector. Who's connecting between those thoughts? Who's connecting between the first doer and the speaker and the listener? Who's connecting? My only. I'm not talking about yours. I'm becoming a listener. I am becoming a speaker. But there has to be somebody in common who is connecting both of them. My attention should go there. Sat Swarupa Ajnanam. And that is why that Sat Swarupa Ajnanam is there. I don't know about myself. I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant of my Sat Swarupa Ajnanam. I'm ignorant. See, when we say that I am ignorant, I am ignorant. I don't say I'm ignorance. There's a difference. I say I'm ignorant. That means what? I know that I'm ignorant. That means what? Again, to another, it takes us to another point that I have Gyan. I am Jnana Swarupam. I know that I don't know. I never call myself ignorance. I call myself ignorant. Because I'm knowing. I'm knowing, inverted commas, knowing that I am ignorant. I don't know. Many things I don't know. But I know that I don't know. So that is why my Swarup, the essence of that Atma is knowledge. But I don't know about it. This is called Sat Swarupa Jnanam. I don't know about myself. Okay, so this Agyan also is called Anirvachyam. Because it is Sat also and Asat also. Sat Asadhyam Vilakshanam. Because if it was real, it will never go. What is reality? What is Sat? That is present in all the three states of time. Present, past and future. It will remain in all the three states of time. But if it does not go, then what is the purpose of Gyan? We've experienced that it goes by knowledge. Sat Swarupa and Satchidananda. Yes, Sat Chit Anand, they have got three words. three words connote three different things. These are all connotations. These are all indications by the Shastra. These words have different meanings. So here Sat Swarupa means the essence of that Atma is Sat. And Sat, Chit, Anand has got three things. Sat also, Chit also, Anand also. Three things are there. Gyan Swarup, Chit means Gyan Swarup, Sat means real. I mean, it is from the perspective of time. It is present in all the three times. Chit means the knowledge aspect. Anand means the bliss aspect. So Sat Swarup and Satchidanand, these words are different. Here it is only said Sat Swarupa Agyanam, but you can say that we are ignorant about all the three. We are ignorant about our knowledge aspect, we are ignorant about our Anand aspect, we are ignorant about our existence aspect. Why fear? Only because I don't know about my Sat Swarup. I have that Asuraksha Bhavna. I have that insecurity feeling only because I don't know myself. I feel I'm this body. And if somebody harms this body, then I feel that I'll die. But that's not the case. This is called Sat Swarupa Jnanam. Then Sharira Dvaya Nirvikalpaka Rupam. Now, this Nirvikalpaka Rupam needs attention. Vikalpa means what? Thoughts. Vikalpa means thoughts. But that Atma, or this, we are talking about the causal body here. This causal body is without the knower or knower, known, and knowledge. There is nothing called knowledge there. There is nobody called somebody is knowing there. Nirvikalpaka Rupam. So absence of knower, known difference is not there. Any knowledge is taking place because there is a triputi there. I am knowing this watch. Okay, I am knowing this watch. When I am knowing this watch, I am different, this watch is different, and the knowledge that is taking place is different. So any knowledge in this world has these three things. We call it triputi. Triputi. Gyata, Gyeya, and Gyan. I am Gyata, this is Gyeya, and the knowledge of this that is happening is called Gyan. Anything in this world will have the knowledge, knower, and known. But here it is said in the definition, it is nirvikalpaka rupam. Because when we go into sleep, deep sleep, when we go into deep sleep, there is no thought there. When we are into deep sleep, there is nobody claiming that I am sleeping. If you are claiming that, then you are not slept. You haven't gone to deep sleep. So that is why it is said here, it is nirvikalpaka rupam. There is no knower, known difference between in that state, in that causal body. When we are in that causal body. So one thought is coming, other thought is going. And in between, there is one witness. Vijama?
We don't know that we know. वो state है क्या उसमें?
We don't know. You can say that. We don't know that we know. We don't know. Yes. So when there is one thought is what is sleep, we'll come to the sleep topic later on. One thought is emerging and one thought is merging. Same thought is emerging, same thought is merging. This is called sleep, deep sleep. Now between these two thoughts there is a witness. Between these two thoughts, and that is called Atma. That is connecting both the thoughts. See, and that Atma at that time is fully conditioned by ignorance.
Amma, can you please repeat that sentence again?
One thought is coming One thought is emerging, and one thought is merging. The same thought, abhavakar vritti, that is called, same one thought is emerging and one thought is merging. एक thought आ रहा है, एक thought जा रहा है. Same thought. एक thought आ रहा है, एक thought जा रहा है. Same. But between these two thoughts, that merging and emerging thoughts, there is that Atma that is connecting as a witness both the thoughts. On that Atma, one thought is emerging and it is going merging. So that Atma at that time is fully Ajnana Swarupam, see, Avidya Rupam. At that time, it is conditioned by ignorance that I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know that I don't know. That should be the state. I don't know that I don't know. And when I am deep into sleep, there is no thought. After I get up, then I come to know that yes, I was sleeping well. But at that time, there is no thought. There is no body. I'm not identified to any body, neither dream body, nor waking state body, nor subtle body. So there is nothing. So now what was I going to tell you is,
तो ये
at
अभावाकार
that time,
ये अभावाकार वृत्ति किसको होती है? Who is
वो वाला
holding?
टॉपिक, वो टॉपिक हम बाद में आएंगे, लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे. अभावाकार वृत्ति जो होता है वो बाद में आता है. जब when we get up, at that time the person knows that I had abhavakar vritti. At that time is completely engulfed. So now Atma at that time is conditioned by ignorance. At that time, Atma is fully conditioned by ignorance. So if you go to the basics, you will find that Atma and ignorance have no opposition to each other. अच्छे से दोस्त हैं वो. अच्छे से Atma is helping ignorance. No opposition. But Jnanakar vritti and Agyan, ignorance vritti, they have opposition. Atma has no opposition to anything. ज्ञानी की स्थिति ऐसी होती है, he has opposition to none. So either we should live like a Atma or live like a Bhakt devotee, seeing everybody as my Lord's representation, or see yourself as everything. Everything. I only have become so many. Either have the vision of Atma or a devotee. So this Atma, it does not have any opposition with Agyan. And that is why it is nicely, happily thriving on Atma. And we are asleep, fast asleep, sleeping like a log. Forgetful of anything, forgetful of all our sorrows, all our tensions, all our problems, all our body pains. We are not at all aware of anything. Okay, so there is no experience of world at that time because thoughts are not there. This is called Nirvikalpaka Rupa. Not a single thought is there.
Amma, sorry, I had a question in this perspective that ignorance, regarding the ignorance, that Karan Sharir is in the nature of ignorance. Am I correct?
Yes.
So, and again, it is saying that it is Nirvikalpaka Rupam. So I had this doubt that if this is Nirvikalpaka Rupam, that is which we can experience in the state of sleep, that there is no thoughts. So if there is thoughtlessness, then the thought of ignorance is also absent. Then how it is
When
described?
tell me the last question, last sentence.
Yeah, if it is nirvikalpaka rupam, which we like generally we experience it in the process of deep sleep, where there is no thoughts at all, a state of thoughtlessness. Am I correct?
Yes.
So yeah, so in that case, if in the state of thoughtlessness, the very thought of ignorance will also disappear.
Yes, but it is there because sleep only tells us, sleep and samadhi has this difference only. When we are asleep, at that time we have been that Atma or the Jeev has been completely engulfed by the ignorance. Ignorance has completely engulfed and the experience. That is why our experience. What does your experience say? I don't know anything. You don't say at that time that I know everything. This is a difference between samadhi and this is a difference between sleep. In samadhi also, outside from externally, you will feel that this person is sleeping. His mouth will be open sometimes his body posture will be like that. Maybe but inside he feels, I know everything. This is a difference. So when we are sleeping completely, that ignorance has engulfed us completely. The ignorance has engulfed the body, the mind, intellect. There is no thought as such. And that is why my experience after I get up is what I didn't know anything. कितना बज गया? अरे 2 घंटा हो गया. I thought I will sleep only for half an hour. It was a nap. 2 घंटा हो गया. I am not aware of time. I am not aware of where I am sleeping. Sometimes when you change places also very frequently, you take time after you get up that where am I? Sometimes when we go to some teeth or we have come returned back from some very exhausting trips like that and we are sleeping, we cannot make out whether it's just day or night. We are completely unaware. Because I am unaware, because I know that I don't know, I didn't know anything at that time. This proves that it was of the nature of ignorance. And because, why is it called Nirvikalpa Rupam? Because I didn't know anything. There were no thoughts. That is why it is called Agyan. It wasn't like I was knowing everything clearly, like the person who gets up from Samadhi, his experiences, I am knowing everything clearly, I'm able to see everything. This is a difference. His knowledge engulfs him. The thought of Atma engulfs him at that time. But here, he's completely oblivious of the fact that he is Atma. He's not in time, space, or object. He feels that I was in time, space, and object. When I get up, I feel I didn't know anything. The experiences differ in both the cases. Completely different. But outside, externally, both the position, the body posture may be the same. Sometimes while traveling also we sleep like this. But that person who's in samadhi, he's awake, awareful awareness. Our Gurudev used to say, awareful awareness is samadhi. And awakeful awareness is samadhi, yes. And what was deep sleep? Deep sleep also had defined something like that. awake, awareless. I don't remember right now. So that is the difference. So that is why it is called here Nirvikalpaka Rupam, but it is Agyana Rupam, Sat Swarupa Agyana. That causal body is full of Agyana, ignorance. But one more thing I'll tell you, all of you all, why we enjoy our deep sleep so much. It is only because, see, there are layers. Here, suppose there is Atma. I'm just giving you a pictorial representation. It's not like that actually, because Atma is pervading the whole body. But I'm telling you, suppose here there is Atma. Then there is causal body. Then there is subtle body. Then there is gross body. So when we are transcending each and every body, one by one, we are going inside internally, we are going towards that Atma. So our level of happiness increases. At that time, when we are in deep sleep, we have already crossed these two bodies. We are unaware of these two bodies, and we are so close to that Atma. That is why we get maximum happiness while we are sleeping, because we are closest to Atma at that time. There is nothing except that Agyan, there is nothing. Can you imagine if you also remove the veil of ignorance from between, how much Anand we will have? Still, the Anand that we experience there in deep sleep is with a wrapper. Imagine if we remove that wrapper also. That is done in Samadhi. That is done through Gyan. That Agyan Vritti is removed. So until and unless we go inside, we reach nearby our Atma or in the causal body also, we won't get happiness. The more we transcend these two bodies, more we are reaching near our Atma. There,
Amma,
because it is the nature of Ananda, yes, that is why we get most of the bliss there. Because we've already forgotten about the gross body. We've already, whatever was taking us to the external world, we have left all those things. Yes, Supratim?
sorry to disturb you, Amma. I just, as the way you explain that only in Karan Sharif, only the ignorance is left, which is the blanket between the Atma and the Karan Sharif. So, like, and only Gyan Vritti is absent. Amma, can you please explain what is
Gyan
that Gyan
Vritti.
Vritti?
No. Agyan Vritti is there when we bring in, see, Agyan, again we are going back to that light and darkness. Agyan in itself is not real. I don't want to confuse you all too much. Agyan, like if we say that darkness is there, but the darkness, if it is there, if it is a real entity, it won't go by throwing light also. So it is not an entity actually, this Agyan, because it goes away through Gyan. So all these, for now, you can relate it that all these things are at the level of thoughts. So what is Agyan at present? Agyan is I am this body. Agyan is I am this mind. Agyan is I am very sukhi, I am very dukhi, or somebody is praising me. My attachment to mind, body, intellect, my attachment to this gross body, that is at the level of Agyan right now. When this Gyan attacks this Agyan at the thought level, it will tell us that you are not this mind, you are not this body, you are above that. It will give you logics. It will try to make you understand. Once you have already understood that, then that vritti goes away. The Agyan is absent light. When you throw light, the darkness has already disappeared, vanished, it is not there. Then that the Gyan also at a certain stage, because it is a vritti also, it will also go away in the light, in the bright light of that Atma. This Gyan Vritti also gets dissolved. It is engulfed by that Atma. When you're doing Brahmakar Vritti, Brahmakar, Brahmabhyas, Samadhi Abhyas, or you're doing Shabdanuvid Samadhi Abhyas, at that time, continuously you're chanting Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Drishtasmi, Aham Nirvikalposmi. When you're chanting, that Gyan Vritti is being again and again reiterated so that that Agyan goes away. And it will be engulfed later on by the Atma. And this Gyan Vritti also, like I am calling myself Drishta, I am calling myself Brahma, that will also go away. That is on later stages. But remember at this point that that Agyan is also at the Vritti level, at the thought level. So it goes away by the thought, by another thought. That has to be consciously developed by us. Because this has become our Swarupam. It has gone deep into us. We feel that I am a Jeev right now. We feel I am such and such person right now. Okay, I have such qualifications right now. All these things. This has to be sublimated. This has to be dissolved. And who does that? Gyan Vritti does that. Is it clear? So now this was Tat
Yes, Amma.
Yad Asti Tat Karan Shariram. This Karan Sharira is with all these things. So after this, today time is over. After this comes Avasthatraya. Actually, from that definition, from where? From the definition of Atma. Remember, Atma का स्थूल कारण शरीर स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीर व्यतिरिक्त पंचकोशातीता सन. So after the sharir, three sharir, we should take up koshatita. So kosh has to be taken. But here, Bhashyakar, Bhagwan Bhashyakar has taken avasthatraya. He skipped this kosh and he'll come to it later on. So tomorrow we will see this kosh, this avastha. What is avasthatraya? What are the three states of our consciousness? That we will see tomorrow. Please, you will all write your notes, submit your notes, and be regular. And those who haven't come today, please ask them what happened. Okay. Somebody please take this responsibility. If you are fine, Supratin, you ask everybody what happened, why they are absent. Don't
Okay,
call
Amma.
Banani because she is traveling. Rest of the people, I don't know. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.